Right. So, and when we look at even the artwork which has been done for this book, and I believe it has been done by another friend of yours,
Yes,
um, and it is something which, on the first glance, looks very simple, which in fact it is,
it
but it
is.
is also very, very deep because it has the three circles on it, as we can see, and those circles together build a shape which form a center. So the life is centered around or happens around a center. The center, in this case, I assume being the individual, and the three circles representing various important areas in this life. But it all comes together, and it is going to seek a balance. And balance has also been something which you have been very, very eager and also convincing in propagating, isn't it?
Yes, and that center, right? That the concentric nature of the way the circles look, right? That center, I call it the sweet spot, right? And the sweet spot is getting to that place in life where you are vibrant physically, right? Where you're feeling good and you are energized, and you're also developing yourself so you're strong emotionally, and you're growing your confidence, and you're developing your unique capabilities, and you're growing your core competencies that allow you to be effective in the world. And then alongside of that, you are investing first in the most important relationships in your life. And because when you do that, because relationships require time and attention, they don't require things. Relationships, the best part of most people's relationships in their lives were when they didn't have anything but the relationship. and then life started happening around it. And so when you have physical well-being, emotional well-being, and then you have love, then you have someone who becomes magnetic, right? Because the way you show up in the world is very different. You show up in such an attractive way, energy wise, that whatever you do for a living, whatever work you do, you naturally do better. And that's been such an interesting outcropping of this for people is, I started health, but what ends up happening when they get the circles right is that their careers go straight up, even though they're not working 20 hours a day, because the way they show up is different. And so that sweet spot, which, I've been living in it for a long time now. And again, it doesn't mean that my life is free from crisis. What it does mean is when there is crisis, it's way easier. It's tremendously easier to go through a crisis when you realize that when you have your health and you have love, you already have two of the most important things there are in the world. Everything else is gravy. So you're not coming from a place of scarcity or lack of something or missing something. You're looking at the world from an entirely different lens, and it's available to everyone. I don't believe that people wake up in the morning or start out earlier in their life and say, you know what, I really want to mess up my health, and I want to mess up my relationships, and I want to struggle. I don't think they think that way. I think that because of the way we're cultured and conditioned, that there is just a lack of awareness. If you look at the state of health in modern society, and it's atrocious, right? There was a study done in the United States a couple of years ago that 88% of the population is metabolically unhealthy. 88%, right? Most of those people don't want to be metabolically unhealthy, but they didn't know what to do, and they weren't taught anything. And so they just, we're marketed to and we're systematized, but we're not taught things that allow us to be, to do the best to take care of ourselves. We have to go out and figure that out. And how do human beings figure stuff out? By getting a wake-up call. Something happens and I go, oh, I need to pay attention to that, right? And so, my target is, I'd love to help people get to a place early enough where they don't have to face crisis before they get it right, right? And then when they do face crisis, which we're all going to face crisis, right? Life is a series of struggles and adversities. You're going to have struggles and adversities if you do nothing, and you're going to have struggles and adversities if you do everything. So it doesn't really matter. It's you get to pick your struggle. But wow, when you understand how to build the right foundation, and that's what this book does. It's one of the few things I've ever seen that works for everybody. It works for everybody, right? I mean, it'll be unique for everybody because everybody's unique, but systematically, it just works. So yeah, that's you getting me fired up.